Hi, everyone. Welcome to the PETHS Alumni Network Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into our first episode. I'm your host, Nathan, and for our very first episode, I couldn't think of a better guest than someone I've been fortunate enough to call my teammate and friend for a long time, Mr. Jerome Jeyakumar. How are you doing?
Good, how are you? Thanks for having me. Hello.
I'm good, thank you. So, Jerome, we met playing volleyball, and you've also played on the golf team, the soccer team, the volleyball team, like I mentioned. You're on the Tamil Students Association. Anything I'm missing?
A few, like tennis,
Okay.
rugby,
Oh, tennis, rugby, just every
baseball.
sport, every sport in general. Most outstanding athlete, grade 9 athlete of the year, a few MVPs here and there, a few other awards that this podcast would be too long to mention them all. So we'll just
Yeah.
cut it there.
And then I got into university and then I stopped playing sports. I didn't
Mm,
do any
okay.
of that.
Okay, yeah,
Only like girls and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of basketball on the side. We used to shoot around after practice and stuff.
Yeah.
So you're now studying at the University of Waterloo, pursuing a degree in architectural engineering. So I guess we'll start there. Like, what is it for someone who doesn't know, and why did you decide to pursue this path?
In the simplest form, architectural engineering is a fairly new program at the University of Waterloo. I am the second year that's going to be graduating. It's pretty much a combination of architecture and civil. So we do a bit of civil in like our first 2 years, and then in the third year we go to the architecture campus in Cambridge, and so we get to work with some architects and stuff like that. And then we come back in fourth year, back on the main campus and finish our degree. But it's trying to bridge the gap between architecture design, because they design a lot of crazy stuff, and then all the engineers need to like make sure that design is safe and all that stuff. So we're pretty much combining the two into one.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen those memes where it's like something that architects want and then something that engineers want are completely over, like two separate things a lot of the time, right? So it's hard to really like bring these visions to life, right? But I guess that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what was it that really drew you towards this program?
To be honest, like when I was a kid, I always wanted to become like an architect. I just never had like a portfolio, and like when I was like applying for schools, like I wasn't able to like apply for like architecture programs because I didn't have a portfolio. But then I came across architectural engineering, and you didn't need a portfolio. And so I was like, why not? I took physics and math, and I thought like I was decent in math, and physics was like whatever. So I just like wanted to do it. And then you needed chemistry as well, but I wasn't like really good at chemistry, but you only needed it for the first term. So I just grinded my way through that. But I kind of always wanted to go in architecture. So I applied to it and I got in, and then I was like, who's gonna turn down Waterloo? So got into it. Yeah.
It's kind of a weird question, but is there a specific like type of architecture or even a specific building that you just find absolutely perfect?
I would have to say the Shard in London. I did a case study project on it, and like their construction methods that they used for the design was really cool. So I think Shard was probably like my favorite.
And then, so at the University of Waterloo, obviously they have a very strong co-op program, and you've been able to co-op at some great companies. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so with Waterloo's like co-op program, like we have 6 co-op work terms, and I had the opportunity to like do all 6. 3 of them I worked at the same company. It was Ellis Dawn, which is like a big general contracting firm, and like the project that I was doing was like a Go expansion project. I was mainly in the office. I was doing project coordination. But every term that I went back, I was taking on more and more responsibilities and learning more and more. So I learned a lot in terms of like the office side of construction and what it requires, and dealing with the clients, the owners, and all the various trades and stuff like that. And then the next co-op term, which was my 4th one, I got through my brother, who's who does civil engineering. He was doing co-op at that time, but he like established like a good relationship with this company, and now he works there full time. But they do construction management. So he put in a good word, and then I had the opportunity to work for them. And I learned a lot from that co-op because their work environment was really good. It was young. The workers were young, and it was fun. Like we had like work parties and snowboarding trips and stuff like that. So that was really fun. And the projects that they did was like they specialized in condo development projects, and that was really cool to see. And I kind of wanted to always get into like real estate development, and so that's kind of what they did. So being around like a company that does that, I learned a lot and tried to like seek more info from them. So I got like good experience from them. And then my fifth co-op was with Eastern Construction, which is another general contractor, but I was placed on site. So I learned a lot of like site coordination, like how everything's built from like a blueprint or a drawing. Like how that gets translated to the actual on-site conditions, and doing layout to like show like where the columns are going to be put and all those things. So I kind of like did all those things. So I like from like an office standpoint and then translating that to on-site was really good and insightful, and I learned so much from that. And then I just finished my last co-op, so my sixth co-op. It's called Prime Design Build, which is another like GC/construction management company. They're very small. They only had like 4 people in the office, and then like 4 people like on site managing different like projects. I was very hands-on. Like I drew up like 3 contracts for them, like overseeing trades and bringing people in and calling like trades and placing bids and stuff like that. So I learned a lot from that, and they really liked me, and hopefully I could get a full-time job with them. They told me that I should be expecting something in the next few weeks, so hopefully, fingers crossed. But in the meantime, I'm still not gonna wait. I'm not gonna wait for them. Like fixing up my resume, and then hopefully see what else is out there in the market too.
Yeah. What's like the biggest thing you've learned by getting more hands-on experience that you didn't necessarily know just by being in the classroom?
Yeah. So the big thing, like, so I'm kind of more in like the construction side of like there's 2 like fields you could go into, I guess, in my program. Like you could be on like the office side, like as a consultant or like a project coordinator. And then, or you could be like on site and like running a whole construction job because you know like all the technical stuff. So what I learned from my co-ops versus what I learned in class. So in class, like everything's very technical, and like you learn like how to like design things like that. But then when you get to site, not everything goes according to plan, and not everything is as expected. So there's things called as-built drawings. So some things get designed, but it doesn't work as per like the site conditions. So things have to get modified. And that's what I learned is like not everything's set in stone, like from the office side of things. And when you're on site, you learn like what needs to like the process of what needs to be done and how it does get done. So then I could translate that back on the office side, how to actually like design things and like what I need to like take into consideration and stuff like that. So I think that's like a big thing that I learned from my co-ops.
Right. So I'm taking it as kind of being versatile and adaptable, which is something that I actually admire, about you, and like playing on the same team as you, that you were able to like swivel from, playing golf, playing rugby, playing all these different sports, and being able to contribute in, different systems under different coaches. What are some of kind of like the tips that you have to be able to, swivel and pivot to any condition to really provide value to a team?
Yeah, like I would say like always being like open to like comments and like always take feedback. Like nobody's ever trying to like put you down, so always be open to what people are suggesting, sorry, and like just be open to it, and like put that in like the back of your mind, or like listen to what they have to say, and then obviously like analyze what they're saying and maybe try it out, and if it doesn't work, then go back to what you're like comfortable with, but always like be open to what people are saying, because it's always positive things, it's never negative.
What's one thing that either sports or at work, what's kind of one thing that either like a boss or a coach has said to you that really sticks with you?
I would say to take more initiative. This was like either both in like sports, like I could have took on more of like a leadership role, like like say more things like on the court, be more vocal, things like that, or like even in like the office, like when my co-ops, like as a co-op student, like you kind of feel like, oh, like I'm just a co-op student, but like everybody that like when they take you on, they don't treat you as like a co-op student, so they kind of want you to like voice your opinions more and things like that. So like that's a lot of things, like a lot of people said like be more vocal and stuff like that. Like around my friends, like I'm very vocal, but like I feel like when it comes to like the workplace stuff like that, I'm like, okay, like I'm just a co-op student, like whatever, but like I feel like I need to, that's one thing that I could improve on, was taking more initiative and being more vocal.
So going back to your high school experience, like we mentioned, you were very involved on many teams, many clubs. What are some key experiences that stand out to you?
I would say I could go maybe from grade 9 to like, and then that in that order. Like in grade 9, I actually did a French exchange trip. That like we had like a connection with another school in France. That was a 10-day thing, and it was a really good experience. I get to travel with some of my friends 10 days, and then also experience the French culture, and then having like the exchange person come over and live with me, and then show like what, like a bit of my culture at home, like what it's like, and then like taking her around like to like my family, like seeing my family and stuff like that, and then also going to like Wonderland and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was like a really fun experience in grade 9. And then also just like in grade 9, like coming into high school, that was like a fun experience, like meeting new faces and getting friendly with everybody. I remember those, like that time, like high school like flew by like quickly, like it was crazy. Great. And then in grade 9, like I never played volleyball like seriously. Like I played in elementary school, but then in grade 9, like that was like a huge change. Like Mission like had a whole system. And like I tried to play multiple sports, but Mission was not having that. Could not play soccer. I had to pick soccer or volleyball, and I obviously I chose volleyball because I was like, I could play soccer like elsewhere. But that was a fun time playing volleyball and like learning like the technical stuff, the technical side of volleyball, and like positioning, how to block, like proper technique and stuff. That was really fun. And then I can never forget leaderships with SCAPs, and open SCAPs. Time is learned a lot and had a lot of fun with all my friends. And then going to OFSA was huge. Overnight, you were my roommate.
We can't talk about what happened there.
Yeah,
I want to get in trouble.
That was good. That was fun. And then prom was fun because the Raptors won. So that'll always be like a memorable night. Like that would be like down, like written in history that we won that day, and that was the same day as prom. So that was really fun. And then graduation, like it was good, like, and it was like a new chapter like after we graduated. So those are like the fun core memories, and obviously like all the friendships that I created and stuff like that.
When you spoke about the feelings of graduation, was it like mostly nervous? Was it mostly excited? Like what were you feeling?
I was excited. Like although like now like looking back at it, like I really miss high school. Like high school was like super fun. Like grade 12, like I think was probably 2019 was like probably like one of my favorite years. But I was excited to go to university, like go away from home. Like that was a new experience, living um like on campus, like on residence and stuff.
Mhm.
And obviously COVID got in the way of things, but maybe it was a blessing in disguise because school got a bit easier. I shouldn't say that, but like
Yeah.
school got a bit easier because it was online, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was excited to graduate, I think,
Mhm.
and then start like pursuing like a degree that I kind of wanted
Yeah.
to like build a better future for myself.
Mhm. So around that time, when you were looking into, universities to apply to, what were some of your main considerations, and like what other schools did you apply to?
To be honest, when I was applying, I actually was debating between engineering and business.
Mm.
I did a lot of business courses. I took a lot of business courses in high school and I really liked them. And like I feel like I do like to talk to people and stuff like that. So like a lot of my friends said like, oh, like you should go into business. Like I always wanted to do it. But then I also kind of wanted to go into engineering. So then I applied to some engineering and then a lot of business schools. And then when I got the offer from Waterloo, I was like, I can't turn this down. So I was shook. I was like very shocked to like see that Waterloo accepted me.
Mhm.
Um, so then when I got that, I was like, okay, I can't turn this down. I got to go into it. But looking back at like my co-op experiences, a lot of them have been in project management and construction management, and it kind of like has a bit of business, like it's a very businessy like
Mhm.
type of
Yeah.
work where it's like you're managing like people and like you're also like looking at the budget and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I feel like I got the best of both worlds. Like I got some of business and then some
Yeah.
of like the engineering side of the things. So I got a bit of both.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of engineers do work, in the like consulting firms, things like that. They're obviously very highly regarded and very skilled at what they do. So, I
Yeah.
mean, we like business on this podcast, but that's a little personal bias.
Yeah.
But yeah, like any regrets, any like thing you want to tell people about, when it comes to applying?
Um, Looking back at it, like there's no regrets. Like obviously, like I made my decision, but um, I wish I maybe have applied to like Western Ivy because
Mhm.
one
Yeah.
of my cousins she graduated and
Mhm.
she did Ivy and she's making some good monies.
And you can
But like I
dual
shouldn't be
degree.
like, oh, like do it for the money.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, it was just like two of my best friends, like they went to Western and I've I like went up to Western like a few times and like I really like the campus environment. Like everybody's friendly. It's always a good
Mhm.
time and like you could party, you know? So best of both
Yeah.
worlds.
I mean, you could do a dual degree. You could always go get an MBA. I know a lot of engineers do an MBA after
Yeah,
to
yeah,
work in those top consulting firms. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. We'll do some quick rapid fire questions for you.
yeah.
Favorite song to listen to right now?
Happiness. Happiness by Gunna. Happy
Okay.
by
Yeah.
Gunna and Asake, I think.
Okay. Do you have a
By
favorite
Gunna.
TV show or movie?
Uh TV show would probably be Suits and Power Book 2.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, you touched on money a little bit earlier. If you had $1 million right now to just do
yeah.
whatever you want with it, what would you do with that money?
Probably travel the world. I would save up some money, you know, like put money aside. Like probably invest in like maybe real estate. Probably I would hire a really good accountant and like, you know, like they could figure some of the stuff out.
Yeah.
Um, and then have some money to like spend and travel. I really want to travel the world. Yeah.
Where would you go?
Anywhere.
Yeah.
So like
No,
open to
like,
new like adventures. Like I recently went on a trip with some of my friends and my brother to Portugal
mhm,
and Barcelona. So that was really
mhm,
fun. So like any trips like that, like
mhm,
exploring other countries and like their cultures and stuff like that.
mhm. So you're not so much like a beach guy. Like your ideal
Oh,
vacation would be
I
like,
could definitely do an all inclusive. You know, like
oh, okay.
there's times for that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I definitely would like to travel the world.
Any spots on the bucket list?
Probably the Maldives, maybe.
Mhm.
That's like you know, good spot.
Yeah.
But I feel like you need to go with like a significant other. So
Yeah.
uh so maybe that.
Okay.
Probably I want to go to Monaco. I want to go to
Mhm.
Monaco
Yeah.
and watch the F1 race. Yeah.
Which
As
team?
you can see, big F1 fan over here. Mercedes.
Mercedes? Okay. Lewis Hamilton? Okay.
Yes, sir. He's
Okay.
gonna get his eighth world championship.
You betting on it or no?
Yeah, this season.
Okay. Also, what else is on your bucket list outside of, traveling?
I would say outside of traveling, like I would say bucket list would be to build my lifetime goal is like I always told my parents that I would build them like their dream home, and I feel like with my work experience and stuff,
Yeah.
I would be able to do that.
You mean like with your
build them a
own
dream home.
not with your own hands though,
Like design it and
yeah,
then get people to build it. Yeah.
right. So like off camera, we were talking a little bit. You want to get into commercial real estate development.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, for those of us who don't know, could you kind of like explain like in simple terms what it is?
Sure. I mean, commercial like real estate development, like there's real estate development, which is like could vary from like just small houses and you're building up like building houses. But commercial real estate is more in terms of like all these like commercial buildings. So like um, community centers, shopping centers, multi-residential buildings,
Mhm.
and like warehouses and stuff like that. So a lot of my projects for my in like in my program, we do a lot of like multi-residential building designs. Like we did, I just like me and my group, we designed a few like projects. So we designed like a library, we designed a community center, and like my capstone project, we're designing like affordable housing using mass timber, um, like 8-story buildings and stuff like that. So I have some experience in designing like commercial buildings. So I kind of want to go into like in the future like real estate development, which would consist of building like senior homes because that's like a big thing now. Like a lot of government funding is going towards senior homes, affordable housing, and stuff like that. So probably towards things like that, and then also some industrial like warehouses, things like that, probably.
Mhm.
So my and like after I get like a full-time job, I kind of want to get more experience in construction and project management. And with that experience, then I could, because my brother does civil engineering and he's a field engineer right now. With him, like, and when he gains more of his experience, then we always like had like an idea of like maybe starting something on our own together.
Mhm.
So that is like the ultimate dream goal is to like start up our own like construction firm, in some sort and go into real estate development, which is
Mhm.
building all these big buildings like and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
So
great. J&J Consulting.
yeah, something like that. I don't know. We haven't talked about a name or anything, but that's
Yeah.
like a goal of ours or a
The big
dream of
goal.
ours to do.
Do
So
you have any goals that are a little bit like more on the personal side without,
personal
being
side, I would say get married around or like propose like around 26, 27, get
okay.
married around 28, and then start a family around to 30, those are like goals of mine, I feel like.
Without
I,
giving
I,
up on
would- it shouldn't, I shouldn't say like it's set in stone, like those are the
yeah,
dates, but like,
yeah.
but yeah, like I always wanted to like start a family, like have like kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Mhm.
like that, I think that's what excites me is like wanting to
Mhm.
have a family. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
besides having a family, which is important and all, what about your car? We know you're a huge car guy. Dream
I
two
would
car
say like
garage.
I'm not as big as you. Like you probably know more cars than me, but one of my dream cars now is the new Mercedes AMG GTR.
Yeah, yeah, it's a nice one.
Yeah, it is. it came out when I was actually like on the trip in Europe, and like it came out, and I was like blown away. I was like, damn, I want one of those.
What's your daily driver?
Daily driver? Oh, it used to be Subaru STI. That used to be my car. But now, like now being in like the work like environment and stuff, it's all about saving money. So I might have to go electric or hybrid, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll take that. As an engineer, I get, I don't want to like stereotype, but a lot of engineers, understand, technology a lot better than like the general population, and they tend to be into like more innovative ideas and things like that. But I don't want to stereotype engineers, but just generally, right?
I don't think I would fit in like the stereotype of an engineer. Like if I would walk the street, nobody would think that I'm an engineer. Not gonna lie. Yeah.
Okay, so what are some like skills specifically that you think makes you like stand out in your program?
I feel like you need a lot of time management skills and organizational skills, because our schedule is pretty like rigorous. Pretty much we had like a 8:30 to 5 like every day. Obviously, like as you go on, like through like in the upper years, like it gets less, but like the workload is always hard, and like you have to like manage your time. Like I remember in like 1A, like a first term, like I was swamped with school and just overwhelmed with everything. But as time goes on, like you learn how to like prioritize assignments, when to do them, and like when to study and things like that. So I feel like, time management and like or being organized, like knowing when things are due and stuff like that is huge. And like knowing how to like prioritize and like maybe even like set up like a routine for you and stuff, like for yourself and stuff. I feel like those are like big things.
Do you have any like advice? It can be about anything for your younger self.
I would probably say to be like nice and respectful to everyone, because you never know like what they could do for you. So always like I'm not saying like, oh, use these people or whatever, but like I'm saying like, like pretty much what you're kind of doing is like networking. Like you never know when you can use that person. So always be nice to people, because you never know what they could do for you.
Perfectly well said. No, I like that you brought up the the purpose of this podcast as a whole on the first episode. Nice that you tied that in real nicely.
I'm not nice as you with you and your segues and all that stuff.
Do you have a teacher or class that you'd like to shout out from your time at PET?
I have 3 teachers that I could shout out. One is Mr. Scaps, leadership and open French. French immersion students. Like if you don't really care about like your French, but you want to still get your French diploma, open French, grade 11 and 12. And then also Mission, another teacher from grade 9 to grade 12. She probably helped shape who I am today, throughout like with my volleyball career, but also as a person. And then also Mr. Raja, he was our TSA teacher, and I still talk to him to this day. So those are the 3 teachers.
Okay, nicely well said. Okay, if we were to come back to you in 10 years and we were to say Jerome is and then blank, what would you like that word to be? What would you like to be known for?
Jerome is fun. I would say Jerome is fun.
In what aspect?
Just in general. I don't know, like in any aspect, or is like really nice.
Okay. Yeah. And then what do you mean by fun? Because there's like obviously boundaries to having fun, right?
Yep, 100%.
Or like work hard, play hard, yeah.
Yeah. I would say like never be like, I'm always open to talking to people. Like I like talking to people. So like that's like I could say like you could always have a conversation with me and it would be a good time.
Yeah. That I agree with that. Yeah. I remember the first thing that comes to mind when we say fun is, OFSA. That 1 year. That was a great time.
I was like, I feel like that's like a once in a lifetime like experience. Like, OFSA was, and you experienced that twice, which is That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
We'll have a few more guests on here who can tell some stories. Maybe we'll
Yep.
have a whole team podcast one day.
Yeah.
Or at a reunion, maybe we'll do another podcast. All right. Last
Yeah.
question for you. Would you like to nominate fellow PETHS grads to be on this podcast?
I would probably say like I could say my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll shout out my brother too. Jerome Jeyakumar. But I would say Kush Varma.
Yeah.
He's one of my boys. And also Brandon Yu. Making
Brandon
some
Yu,
money
yeah.
moves over there.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get them on here.
Yeah. I'll try.
Okay. Perfect. We look forward to calling you out now. All right. Thank you so much, Jerome, for being on here, and thank you everyone for watching the very first episode. Stay tuned for more episodes coming on a weekly basis. You have that to look forward to. Make sure you subscribe so you can see all our new posts. Make sure you follow our Instagram page and like all our posts. Thank you, Jerome. Any closing remarks from you?
Thanks for having me. And yeah, subscribe.
Okay, thanks, and see everyone next week. Peace out.